Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon, also known as DanMachi for short? This anime at first was torn to shreds by nearly every person online, calling it Sword Art Online Giant Titty Edition, but I will hands down say that this anime had better pacing, story progression than Log Horizon, who people swear by for some reason, but bash on this anime. Anyways, I'm going to first get to the heat of the debate. A lot of people bash on this anime saying that it copied the floor level idea and RPG idea from Sword Art Online. Those people, though, fail to realize that floor levels weren't an idea created by Sword Art Online, but in fact, this idea has existed long before Sword Art Online's existence. Almost every dungeon crawler RPG has floor levels. I mean, just look at Diablo. It's pretty much fighting on different floors with increased leveled enemies per different dungeon slash floor. The truth of the matter is that people keep comparing DanMachi to Sword Art Online, when in reality the anime shows have a totally different premise. Looking at the broad picture, Sword Art Online is an anime based on being trapped in an MMO similar to Guild Wars 2 or WoW, with different sections devoted to different tasks like villages, dungeons, main quests, etc. On the other hand, DanMachi is an anime based on what if the world of a game like Guild Wars 2 was real and not a game. So in that perspective, DanMachi is closer to the source material than Sword Art Online. DanMachi is the real answer to what would life be inside a game rather than pretend to be trapped in one. With that said, I love both of these anime shows, but I think it's an unfair comparison of the two, seeing that they are looking at the same thing but in totally different perspectives. Now let's actually talk about what the anime is about. The story takes place in Orario, a fictional world which contains monsters in all sorts of forms. In the story, certain individuals take on the role as adventurers who visit the dungeon to defeat monsters and take their shards. The shards can be used to craft magic items and are also used as the world's currency. The adventurers join in groups called familia, or familia, which basically means family in like Spanish or probably some other language too, but from what I know, Spanish. I'm just gonna call it familia, just like they say it in the anime. And each familia serves a resident deity. Now, I understand this is a lot to take in, but basically an adventurer joins a familia to make adventuring easier, and their deity can help them learn how they have improved after training at dungeons and so forth. It's important because you need to know when you can move up a floor so that you as an adventurer don't get killed. Also, in a familia, you can meet others to help make leveling up easier. And also they'll get your back if you get rushed by too many enemies. This particular story though follows Bel, a solo adventurer under the goddess Hestia. Hestia is Bel's deity. Bel is at the start the only member of the Hestia familia, but he works extremely hard each day to improve his abilities. During the beginning of the story, while Bel is still fairly new as an adventurer, a high-level monster escapes a higher floor, and Bel is nearly killed but saved by Eyes Wallenstein. After this, he pretty much fell in love with her, but throughout the story he is mocked about how he was saved by a girl, and he wants to prove to himself and everyone that he can surpass Eyes and not be saved by her all the time. Of course, first I'd love to tip my hat off to the story because the progression and overall pacing is just so good. To add on, the plot never got too deep, but from where Bel started to where he wanted to get through, you see a wimpy kid grown to a true adventurer, which honestly felt nostalgic to me. The show in general felt like an actual hero adventure, also as if I was reading like a fairy tale hero book or something. The art and animation was splendid, nothing too groundbreaking, but nothing fell flat and everything popped. The most notable thing I can say about the art is that the world felt like it was a world I wanted to be in. The fight scenes were also good and well animated and drew me with suspense, wondering what would happen next, and once again I felt like a true story about an adventure. The characters were just awesome, and though they didn't explain the background of every character, the main cast of the characters did get a backstory, which was amazing. You saw what the other characters went through, so you knew where they were coming from rather than just being a plain old support character. The best part is that this anime pretty much set some amazing groundwork because of its story, characters, and world. The one that I want a little more story of or background of is Hestia, who despite being a major character didn't get much story. I'd also like to know how and where the deities come from. That would also be kind of cool to explain, but you know, there's always season 2. The music was perfectly suitable for this anime. The opening theme really helped describe the anime. Adventures, struggle, and above all friendship, which everyone knows is a perfect combination for a heroic anime. The ending song feels just so adorable with the chibi Hestia running, followed by all the other characters, but all I can really say is that it's amazing. The anime in general screams adventure, friendship, struggles, and happiness. Although there are some kind of dark moments in the anime, it was still in the right balance for something like this. But before we get into the review, I do want to mention one of the major gripes on the anime, which is its slight harem roots that it shows. It doesn't get to the extent of girls falling all over him, but there are some ecchi scenes that pop in here and there. And it isn't overly exaggerated like some people are making it out to be. I'd say Nisekoi put girls in more awkward situations than this anime does by a long shot, and Nisekoi is amazing. Now onward to the review. The story is a 9. Astonishing. DanMachi's story was superb and much better than what I was expecting. I will admit that I came with extremely low expectations. I had heard the worst from a few reviewers online, so I honestly was expecting total garbage with overly done ecchi scenes like Sakura kiss status. So once I started, I got hooked. I didn't see an anime this good coming until summer or later, and honestly I'm glad that it came when it did. Spring brought new anime shows that just weren't that good, honestly. Not terrible, but many didn't give me the incentive to continue watching. This anime story was amazing. It felt like I was on an adventure the whole way through. However, the only thing I can say bad about the story is a small gripe that screams a season 2. We learned a lot about the characters, the particular location of this world, and of course how this world all functions. But one thing that was missing is exploration. They never really traveled that far from where the anime starts. And no, it isn't bad, but I just wish anime could have been 24 eps with more adventures ahead, but this is more of a desire than a gripe, one would say. Characters is a 10. Unforgettable. Before you lose your mind, a 10 doesn't mean perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect. That aside, this anime has unforgettable characters, especially the main character in the Hestia Familia. What I mean by unforgettable is that the background story, personality, and how the character was introduced were all a good mix. None of the main characters ever blended into the background or felt like they were there for only support. The story didn't only center around Bell despite him being the main character, which allowed the characters to have existence outside of Bell's sight, so that you saw the struggles that not even some of the other characters in the anime saw. You kind of knew more about the characters than any other character, which felt quite nice. When something would happen that would affect the character, you knew it before anyone else and were wondering how things would play out. I thoroughly enjoyed the characters, and I hope a season 2 can only help grow those characters and explain other things that the show didn't get enough time to explain. Art and animation is a 9. Astonishing. First, above all, I want to say that everything in the anime felt perfectly fit for each other. The background and the characters felt as one in the same world, and everything felt colorful and popped out well. The animations were extremely good, but not silky smooth like some other anime shows are starting to do now, but this anime wasn't a slouch either. The best way to say it is that it's an anime that feels perfect and right together in art and animation. I think what makes the art and animation feel like something higher than a 7 or 8 is how good they complement each other. Although I just wish the animations could have been a bit more silky smooth like we are starting to see lately on other shows, because this anime could have jumped to a 10 depending on how much of the anime was buttery smooth, but the anime as it is now is still beyond average. But something about this anime makes me want to demand more, so I could just be picky. Music and sound is an 8. amazing. The voice actors and music do its good on the anime. Everything felt like a beautifully wrapped package of nice voice acting with an amazing OST to back it up. The fight scenes had music perfect for the moment that kept me at the edge of my seat, and the moments that admired the scenery were partnered with nice background music. But above all, the opening and ending songs were good. They felt silly and wacky, but showed a side of the world that not many shows like this would ever show. You saw an adventurer also enjoying his daily life with people he cared about, and the music helped emphasize that alongside with action, struggle, and friendship. My enjoyment is a 10, unforgettable. What I can say about this anime that I haven't already said, the characters are amazing and have their own backstories that actually hold up, and this gives the characters recognition from just any typical support character, and it helps amplify towards how you feel about the character. The art and animation complement each other and help bring the world to life by not only making the world pop, but the characters too, and making them feel as if they're not transparent and feel more real. The OST helped bring the most intense moments to life with heart-pumping songs, and assisted in catering the most real moments with soothing music to help emphasize the current scene. But of course, above all, the story had a point A to point B, which took me on an adventure of a lifetime with amazing characters and an amazing world. And all I can truly say is that A and B are not the only letters in the alphabet, so I hope a second season can take me on more explorations beyond just the world we got to see, and help expand those characters even more. So the final rating is a 9. This anime is astonishing. A perfect anime doesn't exist, but this is close enough to that for me. The story, characters, OST, art was just up to par with everything I consider amazing. And honestly, this anime is what I personally consider the best way to start summer's amazing lineup of 2015 anime shows. If you want an anime that will take you on an adventure in a world where a zero becomes a hero and you watch him slay cool enemies alongside probably some of the best supporting characters in a long time, then this anime is definitely up your alley. While this anime isn't a Sword Art Online clone, the few similarities are the story progression and the sense of adventure. Both of the anime shows carry that. I think the one benefit is subtracting the love interest from Sword Art Online that this anime doesn't take as seriously. Yes, the character acknowledges the girl, but the story never becomes about the romance between the characters, which, while I don't mind, Sword Art Online kind of centered the anime around the relationship between Kirito and Asuna, while in this anime it stays more faithful to point A to B and the adventure and the struggles between that. Summing up the anime, I'd say it's best to ignore all the reviews and come in with a clean mind and judge for yourself what the anime is, but don't be surprised when you find yourself giggling, laughing, and going over the edge of your seat on the action scenes. Anyways guys, what an intense review. Sorry, I had so much to say about this anime, and honestly, probably one of the best ways you can start summer. I can't say anything else better than that. Just this anime just got me so pumped up. I can't wait for Nananbyori. I can't wait for working. I can't wait, and I just can't wait. I'm just so excited. This anime, I hope it gets a second season. The groundwork that this anime laid is just wow. Just wow. So much could be done with this. I just hope they don't mess it up. It's just, season 1 is so good. They could make season 2 be extremely amazing. Who knows when that will come out, but I hope it does. And this anime really, honestly, don't read the reviews. Watch it yourself and you decide, honestly. If you don't like it, it's okay. I mean, no, not everybody's gonna like everything, but I honestly would rather have you give your own opinion rather than have someone else ruin what you could potentially consider one of the best anime. Or maybe you won't like it, but I'd rather have you experience it than someone else ruin it for you and show just what they think is bad. So yeah, I honestly recommend you watch this anime. But anyways guys, this has been 8-Bit Otaku. Jana! While this anime isn't a Sword Art Online clone, the few similarities... While this anime isn't a Sword Art Online